Welcome to the Hermitcraft recap. My name is PixelRiffs, our writer is LoyXP. Captions on this video were provided by Liara. Now be honest, how many of you had "there are only 3 hermits remaining alive" on your week 1 bingo card? Probably not as many of you as had "Dokem builds a shulker farm." The game of demise has stopped, dropped, and rolled about 90% of the server by this point, and as the bodies hit the floor, it's interesting to see who's being careful, who's flying under the radar, and who's just got Lady Luck on their side, for now. At the time of writing, we still don't know what the prize for staying alive is, and by their own admission, neither do half the hermits. So while it's unusual for us to wish for anybody on the server to be unalived in an untimely fashion, we kinda wanna know what the deal is. Either way, death has not stopped the march of progress on the server as starter bases pop up left and right, new roles are carved out for the players who want to take an organised approach, and the new season truly starts to take shape. So let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week. Starting with B00, who, along with Wells Knight, posted his first video slightly after the main group, hence not being featured in our Day 1 recap.
I am very unfazed.
It's okay.
So now, a week later, we're finally able to talk about B-Dubs opening his video with shots that'd feel at home in a nature documentary, including a new time to horse record of 6 seconds.
Luckily, these meadows became a home to a little gaggle of hermits. This hermit, spotting a rival, is shaking its head and bending its tushy as to intimidate the rival, but also attract a mate.
Hi-ho, slaver! Away!
True to form, B-Dubs approaches his first caving expedition with trepidation, trades a sword for a saddle at his first opportunity, and fully anticipates his first steed will not last long. He teams up with Impulse SV, who will not kill him, to unveil the idea of their collaborative Cyberpunk City project for this season, but continues visiting other server mates and tiptoeing around the Reapers.
Who's the red name over here?
Some sucker. Hey! What are you?
He's an all diamond and he'd still die.
I died when I was in iron armor. I got it later, and now I'm immortal, okay?
Returning from a trip to the jungle with 4 parrots in tow, he sets about building a base which Gemini Tay is forbidden from referring to as a core of any kind. It is, however, a mossy cottage with some delightful details, or at least it was the last time we saw it. Next time it pops up, it could very well be a death trap.
And so, with his friends by his side and having established his home, we leave this hermit to his own devices. What new cruelty, but also happiness, awaits him on the hermit planet.
After settling down on the roundest mound around and spending some time caving for resources,
down here to the cave and see if anything got left behind, because I doubt anyone will actually come back here again.
Rendog does a good old-fashioned tower, emblazoned with the letters RD, which of course stand for the last letter of tower, dog.
Okay, wait, I can't believe I actually did that, by the way. Can we just take a moment?
It was very good.
Despite this connection being a bit of a stretch, Ren truly makes it his mission to connect people. For example, when he meets up with Corrales, they try to connect XP Crafted's head with an anvil. Then later he and Grian try to connect Mumbo with some deadly scaffolding.
You get nothing more from me. There's nothing more I can do. You had one job, buddy.
Oh my god, I cannot believe I missed it.
But he also starts work on a road to connect the hermits based in the north part of the region to those in the south, a move which makes a ton of sense given the amount of hermits opting for horse travel on the open plains. The route even gives you a brief sightseeing tour of most people's bases. But Ren's masterstroke is connecting people with opportunity. Forming the Ministry of Ministers, he dishes out responsibilities to the hermits who've chosen to build bases in the Central Plains.
We're here to vote Iskall out of the island.
Oh, I see how. I see.
Is this the part where his chair explodes?
To name a few, False Symmetry becomes the Minister for Transport, Azuma the Minister for Idiots, which seems like a roast until you realise he means villagers. Vintage Beef nearly quits his job as Minister of Maps immediately, but at least these won't take all season to build. As for Ren himself, he is the Minister of Ministriness, which makes sense given that he's handing out the responsibilities, but it wouldn't be the first time Ren has appointed himself top dog.
What happened the last time he was the leader of leader, which was 4 days ago. It was this week. In the first day.
So swimmingly. It's just
He died first!
One minister who's a bit miffed about these appointments is Stress Monster, who receives the Minister of Food role despite having put a ton of effort into moving and breeding villagers already. And this was after she got blown up by a trapped chest Gemini Tay intended for Iskall.
Well, it was either it was gonna not get you in my head, or it was gonna do way too much damage and get the house. So I'm glad that it was in between. Oh yeah, I get to have a peaceful time in the afterlife. It's your turn to kill somebody. Will you get a skull for me?
This seems too aggro for the head of agriculture. But Stress is versatile enough to pivot, and adds to her already thriving farm plots with an automatic melon and pumpkin farm below the surface. A few composters later, a squad of her villagers have been trained as farmers, the food ministry is 3D printing golden carrots, and Stress has enough levels to max out her enchanted gear.
Oh my god, Iskall died!
Oh, I've got to see that in the video.
The Stress assassination was primarily aimed at Iskall, and primarily for his communal crimes against building. To their credit, Cleo identified the issue with the multi-person home Iskall's been forcing people into assembling long before they were appointed the head of Hot Garbage.
Oh, this is already a monstrosity. Okay, cool.
Ruining the landscape.
Eyesore.
I will explain.
It's an eyesore.
Oh, don't be like that. You have
I mean,
27
I can see this
blocks
from
in
my
your inventory to
village.
make it better.
Though the kill certainly goes off to Gemini Tay, who rolled up to their doorstep with a murder train of 3 TNT minecarts. You know, since someone had too high of an idea of fishing.
I'm going to be doing a water bucket clutch. I just want you to know that I can do one. Uh-huh. Yeah! Yeah! No! Green!
Cleo's own starter build is but a beginning of a full network of cozy homes they intend to spread over their personal village. By some sort of law they made up, theirs is the engineer's house, and every other building in the village of choice will later be replaced with a profession building as well. Time will tell if this is Cleo Du Valley or a Zombine Peaks situation.
And then we've got the upstairs floor, which is where the engineer is going to live. And we're going to do story bits up here, because I've got story. I've got story.
Being appointed the head of travel, False Symmetry very fittingly makes her home a wagon at the centre of the community area. Though not before multiple assassination attempts on her person.
That is my two brain cells. One being excited for something and the other one being like,
And the thing about Gem having TNT blasted Stress is she had no idea she was going to end up TNT blasting Stress. So Gem's been chasing half the server around with various threats to their safety, not the least of which is Azuma Void logging back into a pit below him and Dripstone up to his toes.
Darn it, you're too fast!
No! That is genius, but no! Do you want to know though? I only got 2 hearts of damage.
Yeah, I didn't have time. I was gonna go all the way.
Wile E. Coyote physics aside, X has been getting his bearings, some of which included an automated skeleton farm, until he realised the 2 spawners he found were too far apart, rendering his step pyramid base only a little less exciting now.
And when we zoom out like this, it starts to look pretty impressive.
The bone meal would have been really handy for the auto pickup tree farm Azuma's built, but nothing could have prepared him for the trap nether portal Pearlescent Moon and Corallus have made. Truly, the Minister of the Nether has his work cut out for him.
Woo! Oh my god! Pearl! Oh my god, Pearl! I so wanted to win this game!
Even before he's made Baron of Hell, Iskall85 decides to make life difficult for other people. Starting with the decision to make it awkward and go full Swede for his first meeting with Joel Smallish Beans.
See if I can help.
Oh!
I tried. I tried.
That was good, man. I like that. Okay, look, I'm here to ask you for a smallish favor.
Smallish, nice.
See what I did there?
I do.
But that leads to Iskall's main project for the week, which is to make his starter house everyone else's problem. Challenging them to collect between 24 and 32 blocks before he explains what they'll be used for, he drags various hermits over to his plot of the Plains biome and invites them to contribute to the build.
I have no responsibility. I haven't placed a single block except for the frame blocks.
After the success of this project, I think
it's deemed to be a success. Yes.
Naturally, everyone makes some goofy block choices, and many of them seize the opportunity to place the blocks in less logical ways. The regret starts to kick in around Zedaf and Gemini Tay, but it truly boils over when Good Times with Scar brings an end crystal he absolutely doesn't intend to use in the build.
Compliments of the Canadian!
You're a great builder, Scar. You should keep building.
Yeah.
This whole killing
Where's my other
thing.
obsidian block?
And your head.
Iskall's first action after being appointed Minister of Hell is to confront Etho about dealing Scar these lethal explosives, but Etho dodges the questions like only a true ninja can.
You've gone to the most innocent man with binoculars on the server, and you've given him a weapon
Did he blow himself up 3 times?
Yes.
But perhaps the wildest design in the governing body of Hermitcraft is Hypnotized the Steel Magnate. With his primary project being the quartz and copper starter home, Hypno pretty clearly didn't have an iron farm in mind for the nearest future. What's more, Cubfan135 has already assembled an iron farm that is sure to supply plenty material for his whole series and then some.
This is designed by Voltrax, which is a pretty simple iron design. There's like, I think, 8 modules surrounding 4-way water stream that converges on the center.
What's even more, Tango Tech is like right there. Though Copper is more like him for now, what with his steampunk aesthetic. Cub actually makes a few villager-centric farms this week, including a community villager breeder at the top of a mountain, since, as he explains, it's all downhill from here.
Cleo, if she wanted some, could take them down to her spot down here. Same with Tango and Etho if they wanted villagers, and anybody else like in the plains over there who wanted villagers. It's all downhill from here.
The ultimate accomplishment here is Cub materializing a raid farm for himself entirely off camera. One quick enough that the storage for it cannot keep up without first auto-packing the redstone and emeralds into full blocks. Now outrunning most of the server in the progression, Cub doesn't hesitate to also blaze through the rest of the in-game as he rushes the end, kills the dragon, and pilfers the elytra from the outer end. This is the first dragon fight of the season, and I guess the dragon egg was not the prize for winning demise after all. We were all wrong. Also, midway through end raiding, Cub hears someone summon a wither, so the whole server is nuts, actually.
This helps to slow you a little bit. I think we should be solid. It sounds like Etho is fighting the wither.
There is no rest for the in-game bosses, and a group of 8 hermits descends into the deep dark for whatever it may offer.
This is going to be an amazing video.
I can't see anything.
The wardens feel Corrales would rather be anywhere else, so they waste no time sending him flying. Admittedly, one would trade the Skulky below for the vacation bungalow Corrales built at his tropical paradise any day. In fact, much of the server has traded whatever else they'd be doing for fishing of all things.
What are you doing?
What does it look like?
Oh, we got another one.
In pursuit of a mending book, or perhaps in a piece, Grian rolls through 1,951 fished out fishies, eventually getting surrounded by like-minded peers and then promptly upstaged by the like-minded peers.
Mending book? Heck yeah!
You didn't!
It's mending. It's a mending book.
Really
Get out of here! Impulse, you're not welcome here. Get out!
Impulse snuck back in disguise. I love it.
You're not allowed here!
Later, Grian redecorates his like-minded peer too, but let's not pretend the fishing cult that formed in the meantime didn't chase down and relocate upwards their first victim long before that.
Puff of fish. Yeah.
Oh, we all drank the Kool-Aid.
With half a dozen rods pulling her to the sky, Pearlescent Moon joins the Reaper team, and once again the Hermitcraft space program breaks new ground. And shins.
Oh no! Wait.
Tango Tech and iJevin are not far behind on the ground to heavens technology. Their joined redstone project for the week is putting an AFKing Mumbo onto a slime block flying machine and sending him in the general upwards direction.
Oh my god. He's like bouncing up too. That is so amazing.
Oh, good looking down, Mumbo. Good looking down.
At the build limit, they also add a field of cobwebs to prevent him from landing anywhere near the water of the swamp surrounding the place. But these precautions end up being a significant overkill, given that the phantoms get to him long before either Mumbo nor the ground control come back to their PCs next time.
Definitely not the outcome I wanted. I wanted him to log in and then get the reaction in, make him try and make a jump and leap and see if he could make it. No, he's just gonna log in dead. That's nowhere near as cool.
The siren call of sticky redstone leads Tango to building a honey farm on his premises. After all, the copper of his home needs to stop oxidizing before he gives us the MTV Cribs grand tour. The difference here is that the machine is equipped with autocrafters to make the general work with honey a little more enjoyable. All the blocks are already auto-crafted and all that. But the most welcome redstone contraption is the one he installs at Good Times with Scar's locomotive. Well, it's certainly more welcome than the choir of witch note blocks Doc M leaves for him chanting screeching noises from under the ground.
Hold on, what is this? What is this? Your train needs some lubrications. Lubrications. I know how to read.
In a bizarre instance of synchronicity, Tango gets Scar a jukebox that plays a train horn sound whenever a note block above it is hit. In other words, he's granted Scar the ability to toot.
Right-click that note block right there.
Oh, that's new. Oh, what the world? Go, baby! It worked!
Now I hope our high-concept humour and clever wit reputation makes up for me saying that yes, Scar goes on to, in a way, also fart blast Iskall to death.
And your head.
After a long career of being alive, Iskall goes out to a face full of end crystal, though not on the first try, to his credit.
there's mysteries in life, and one of them is how to make horns and record discs in this.
Oh.
And it's a task I've asked many times, and people go, "I will teach you in time," and I'm like, I don't know when that time is.
Well, magic, yeah.
See, look, he's leaving right now. Hey, look, he's going to the guest hole right now.
That's
and
right.
He's not going to tell me how it worked. Look at him.
Fortunately, Scar doesn't have to deal with the telltale heart under the floorboards because it's drowned out by the aforementioned screaming witch blocks Doc M left there. And what else could truly entertain a man who has everything? Seriously, it's episode 2, and Doc M77 already has about 10,000 pistons. He spends the bulk of this episode building a shulker farm, presumably to contain and transport the vast quantities of redstone supplies his base autocrafts around him. Of course, this naturally involves going to the end to get shulkers, which means defeating the dragon and leaving enough end crystals that future visitors can use them for more productive things than exploding each other at close range. Anyway, it's a breeze for Doc, who has plenty of experience dealing with big lizards. When it comes to big salmon, though, could Doc finally be out of his depth?
I've got a bit of bad news, Doc.
What?
Do you remember what you said on our first day on the server while we were caving?
I don't like to do editing.
Because someone wanted to send a message. Only they sent it to Vintage Beef first, asking him to take care of this little problem. After all, you get in bed with big salmon, sooner or later you're going to be sleeping with the fishes. So Beef summons Doc over for a visit and invites him to say hello to his little friend, which turns out to be Skizzleman, who is apparently 6'4".
Let me refresh your memory, Doc. Do you remember saying something bad about salmon?
What is wrong with you two? What are you doing?
Do you recognize this little villager here, Doc?
Looks like he's not going to be showing up to work tomorrow.
Oh,
you messed with the wrong company, Ducky boy.
What is wrong with you people?
Beef just wanted the peaceful life, a farmhouse based on a Gold Robin build, no maps to worry about, and definitely no Piscine mafiosos using his idyllic existence as a front. Still, you can't have everything, as he learns when he's appointed Minister of Maps.
Shut your mouth. Beef, please make a map for us for the district.
Oh no, more maps.
Then again, as we've already seen, maps might not be necessary when you can just be flung into space at a moment's notice. That moment is born out of Pearlescent Moon being fished out of her freshly organised basement and into an early grave by an entire assortment of people, although I think they decide the final blow was cast by Etho.
We kind of dug the hole together and I flung her in.
Etho dug the hole.
But then she came up and she was fine and someone flung her up and
another
she
one,
fell
yeah.
down again.
The angling doesn't stop there, as Pearl embarks on a fishing trip with the one hermit who's got a boat for it, Gemini Tay. Ignore Corrales, his clearly isn't a fishing boat. Besides, Gem has them searching for mob heads, the better to baffle and terrorize their fellow hermits with a soundscape of mobs that may or may not be there.
What about dolphins?
What do you mean, what about dolphins?
What about dolphins?
Why would you suggest that? That's worse than a turtle.
What about dolphins, Pearl? What about them?
One such bafflement occurs with Mumbo, who comes back from not dying to a full damage trap laid by Rendog, only to also not die when he hears the growls of the Warden approaching him on the surface.
Where is that coming from? I am so miffed. Am I going insane?
I heard there's a warden in these here parts.
Is this you?
Did you hear it?
It turns out to be Pearl with a remarkably accurate ventriloquist act. After helping with his portion of Iskal's patchwork starter house, Mumbo settles in and builds a slime farm that has come full circle from his Season 9 design, which was razzed by the technical community before they realised it might just work if you closed it up and filled the floor with mushrooms.
So that means that if you can build an area inside of a swamp that has a light level of 7 or below, only slime will be able to spawn, which means you can make really simple and really, really efficient slime farms.
So a humble Mumbo constructs this new shroom box and is pleasantly surprised to have 3 stacks of slime before he's even finished building the AFK spot. But not all farms are this wholesome. Some can be used for much more nefarious purposes. That's the conclusion Skizzleman and Impulse SV come to while brainstorming how Skizz can fulfill his purpose as a Reaper. Their trap is simple and effective enough that Impulse nearly gets dropped into it once. But after their original target, Good Times with Scar, gets distracted by an errand and killed off camera, they decide to throw smallish beans to the zombie pit instead.
I haven't built my enchanted table setup yet.
Just belly up and get all that delicious XP.
Oh! Yo, wait, no, Kiz, is that you? Oh, you guys, I can't get out. So, just saying, I now hate you, but it's fine, it's fine.
Weird that this didn't show up on Tango's latest PSA about server etiquette. Noted, floating trees bad, dropping your neighbor into a horde of the undead, fine.
Don't leave floating trees everywhere. These trees aren't going anywhere. They're just going to be floating tops. Think of the bees.
At least after all this excitement, Skizz gets to do some work on his starter base. The S stands for starter, right, Scar?
It stands for Skizzle Man, dude.
Oh.
Don't leave.
leaving.
Don't be so embarrassed. Get back here and hug me.
After aiding and abetting his best friend in offing someone, Impulse breaks ground on a project you'll find equally dystopian, the first facade of his cyberpunk city. And while B-Dubs wasn't actively there, his influence can be found in some of the window shading Impulse adds to the office block. Eventually, the goal is to turn the whole area into a kind of explorable minigame arcade, where a tower block now could house an escape room later.
Yeah, it's been tough. It's been really tough to build a build this big and early game because we just don't have all the stuff yet, right?
We cut over to Smallish Bean's base on the cliff, or as we've been calling it, Joel's Hill. Now equipped with actual tools and actual blocks, Joel expands his starter hut to a full apartment complex, Asian-inspired in its architecture. The crowded design is amplified with signs and banners displaying faux kanji and alternating texture variants. It's very negative space, which is about the only negative thing we can say about it.
Down and head over here and have a look. That looks kind of cool. I bet that looks cool at night. Oh my gosh, that's looking so cool. The detailing adds so much to it. I love it.
Zedaf finds a different use of applying gravity to beans. Remembering his kinetically powered furnace, Zedaf makes a co-op minigame out of providing fuel to the smelting machine. The players have to take turns jumping on their respective jump pads to keep an oven supplied with bamboo and therefore keep the process running. The trick is that the chimney will occasionally overheat and set itself or the occupant on fire. Another trick is to not watch it, or else it will never boil.
It's a fun minigame, right? It's a bit of
fun, yeah.
a stressful, but I'm not surprised. I've heard a lot about you, ZF, and that doesn't surprise me once. Thank you.
Coincidentally, this is apparently how the electricity is produced at whatever place Wells Knight lives, given that his day one recording was cancelled due to a power outage. But once the rogue hamsters are ran back to their running wheels, Wells is back in the world, building up his starter tent, which immediately had its floor replaced with a pufferfish pit. Classic.
So I just logged in. Thankfully I had blocks in my Nice try, Mr. Reaper, whoever you were.
Not one to be so easily bamboozled, Wells even literally sees Ijevin coming miles away when Jev is caught pillaring towards him with an anvil in hand.
I have a feeling I know where that was going.
I had a sneaking suspicion that you were gonna see me.
It helps that Wells Knight has settled on an island separated from the rest of the group with a river, but he immediately builds a bridge to Hypno's house, so that tactical advantage is null and void. This hilariously cuts off a boatway since the bridge is on the water level, but opens horse access and an extra fishing spot for the enthusiasts. Keralis wasn't using that boat anyway, especially when he has neighbours he can mess with, although XP Crafted now has an eye for a trap and a knack for mischief.
I end up... over at...
There's a ladder anyway, wouldn't it? So you're not very good at this.
He's quick to learn when Keralis attempts the same mob farm rug pull one too many times, and puts his longbow skills to the test when he sees Keralis working on the boat build. The moral of the story is never leave a man alive if there's a chance he could steal your horse later. But in the meantime, XP has established a hole in the wall with enough storage for future projects, so at least you know whose door to knock on. And finally there's Joe Hills, who shares his search for a place to call home, primarily because his plans are on a much larger scale than most. With many of the hermits choosing to build closer together this season, it's not a huge surprise that they aren't sure where Joe's 1000 by 1000 plot is going to fit in. He hasn't revealed exactly what the intended build is yet, but explains it's going to be some sort of community art project later. So I guess it's one you'll be able to see from space, unlike Joe's starter house, which you can barely see from the ground.
You might say, Joe, that's not a very good starter house. Well, if we put another block up here... Oh, hey, horse.
But it does give appropriately Jack-in-the-Box vibes for Joe's new look, so we look forward to whatever pops out of Joe when someone winds the crank enough times. And that's about it for this week's recap. Our writer is LoyXP, and my name is Pixorifs. Captions on this video were provided by Liara. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here, and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.